Welcome, everybody. This is Set to and Pass. You used to know us as Dads at Dark, um, but we're back. We're kind of switching gears here. We have ourselves a new co-host. This is Dillon.
That's me.
He, that is you. This is a new friend that we made on TikTok that has been following us for a while and now found his home here with us.
Sometimes stalker dreams do come true.
Hey, you know what I mean? Fa- Sometimes I don't really know how to say this, but your persistence is key.
There we go. It's a good
Yeah,
way to put it.
that is a great way to put it. But yeah, so if you want to find him, you guys can stalk him like he stalked us. Uh, to wrong guy on YouTube and TW. Is it just TWG on TikTok? Is that your actual at, or is that just your display name?
No, my actual at is Terongai1, just because some other schmuck had Terongai.
Mucking around on TikTok.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we're going to kick this episode off for everybody since this is the first episode as Set to and Pass. Um, we're going to take you guys back to where we started in gaming and basically the start of our adult nerd journey. I probably say that Toonami and PlayStation 1 were where it all started for me.
Yeah, I can second that. Toonami, PlayStation 1, and Game Boy.
Now, I I lightly played Nintendo stuff whenever I was younger. More so at like friends' houses. Like my best friend in elementary school, he had like the 64. He also had the GameCube and Game Boys. Um, which later on, I finally in like 2003, way late to the game, got my first Game Boy Advance.
Very nice.
So I guess I could say that too. I should throw GBA in there at least because I spent a lot of time on that thing.
I never owned an original Game Boy Advance. My first Game Boy Advance was the SP.
I'm kind of happy for you.
Yeah,
I
so
won't
unfortunately,
knock.
I missed out on the beginning of Ruby and Sapphire, but
Well, you got the hardware upgrade though.
I did.
Like as much as I loved my original Game Boy Advanced, that thing, like trying to play it on a summer day, like in the car whenever your grandma's running errands or whatnot, trying to see things was kind of a hassle.
Oh my god, I remember for my Game Boy Color, I remember when I got my first worm light. Um, and that thing was so cool, but my dad would get so mad whenever I'd play my Game Boy in the car at dark at nighttime because the worm light was bright. Because you had to see that black and white screen.
Did he tell you that having a light on was gonna get him pulled over?
Oh yeah, the same thing with the light in the back, like the light on the roof.
Yeah, the
He said
dome
that.
light.
Yeah, he's like, you can't turn that on at nighttime because the cops will pull us over. And until I was
Oh,
an
I'm
adult, I believed it.
great. Same. The biggest pile of shit I've ever been told in my life.
The things we tell our kids.
Oh yeah, I definitely use it now. Well, I guess I really haven't had to yet, but I probably will.
Right.
Hey, it works. I'm not saying, it wasn't effective.
Yeah. No. I know that I I would try to like shield my worm light with my hands as I was playing, so I kind of had to master how to play my Game Boy Color with one hand while trying to like cup the worm light to just shine down instead of shine everywhere. you learn some skills as a kid with some of those older systems to make it just to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, I see, I didn't have any of the attachments for my GBA. Um, it was kind of a bummer.
Hmm.
I got yelled at a lot for turning the dome light on so I could see my screen. I mean, most of the time I was playing Ruby. Like that was
Oh
just
yeah.
my go-to game for such a long time, and especially after I got the guidebook from
Oh yeah.
EB Games, not GameStop, EB Games. And
Yeah.
that those were a game changer back in the day.
Oh my
Like,
goodness, yeah, the guidebooks were great, especially because not only did they tell you, like, the basis for the story and whatnot, but they also gave you all the little tips and tricks to go along the way,
oh yeah.
and, I mean, they were just cool because like, we didn't have the internet back then. Well, we had, like, the infancy of the internet, um,
Yep.
and guidebooks were just that thing. Like, I remember going to Walmart and just rushing back to electronics to look at the guidebooks, especially, like, the Code Shark stuff.
Yes.
Just because like for my PS1, I was a huge fan of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. And so I'd bring a little notebook and I'd write down all the cheat codes.
That's actually genius. I never thought to do that. Luckily,
Yeah.
I just had a neighbor that lived like 2 doors up, and he was always on his parents' computer, and he would get on cheatcc.com and just like I'd tell him what game I was playing, and he would just print me out like the whole web page of all the cheats for it.
Oh wow. And no, unfortunately, like I know back with when I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, like we had the internet, but it was the really, really bad dial up where if anyone tried to call your house, it would kick you off.
Yep. And it made
Um
a whole bunch of weird noises for no
Oh yeah,
reason.
the sound of the internet was glorious.
So loud too.
You have people
It's
listening to
so
that now, and they're
funny.
gonna have a stroke.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they'd be like, I don't probably think like a fire alarm's going off or something.
They're
Like, what
thinking
is
someone's
that
trying
in
to
my
play
house?
dubstep.
Yeah, just infamously waiting for, like, the beat to drop.
Yeah, and it never drops.
No.
But no, I remember we had this little brown notebook that I stole from school, and I just wrote in with a Sharpie cheat codes. So I had like everything for my old WWE games and my Tony Hawk games, and it was crazy.
I I didn't get to play those as much as I would like to have.
Yeah.
I like, what I did play of those, they were so much fun, but that was just I don't know, one of those games that I didn't really get to play unless it was at a buddy's house.
Mm,
One
yeah.
game I do wanna emulate just because it's another really expensive game, and on GameCubes are really expensive too.
I have one of those.
I wish I did,
Well, I have
'cause,
one now.
do you have Billy Hatcher?
No, I don't. Actually, I don't think I have any games for it. I literally just have the GameCube and a controller and the adapter for your Game Boy games.
Dude, no way.
Yeah. It's all just like sitting in my closet because I found it at a shop one day and I was just like, I'll take it.
You have the legitimate way to play Pokemon Emerald on the TV.
I know, right?
My wife, a few years back now, she bought me, like, one of the first, like, Amazon emulation stations.
Oh, okay.
And I still use it. It's honestly one of the greatest things I've ever gotten. It's called the Super Console X Pro. It's 51,000 games preloaded on it.
Wow.
It goes from like really, really early arcade games and like Atari all the way up to like Nintendo DS and like PSP.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's great. Like, it has all three of the original Crash Bandicoots and Crash Team Racing, which was huge for me.
That's so cool.
Um, all the Pokemon games up to Black and White.
Okay.
So, and I actually never played Black and White as a kid. So, once
Yeah,
I
I
beat
know.
my Gen 4 playthrough, I will honestly give it a shot.
Yeah, Pokemon for me, that's kind of like where my bread and butter is. I mean, I've been playing Pokemon since it hit the States. I've been collecting the cards for as long as I can remember. Um, I don't know, it's just one of those games where it's kind of like my safe game, I guess, because it's a game that I know that I can always go back to. Sorry if
Yeah.
you hear my daughter in the background. She's not feeling well, so she's laying down in my bed.
Hey, we understand it, man.
But yeah, no,
Dad's gonna
Pokemon's
be
always been one of those things where it's like a new game comes out, I do have to get it just because I feel that draw to it. But Pokemon's been with me for so long, and
Hey, I understand that. Like, I have actually made it a point to say it to my wife that since I've gotten my new gaming PC and I own all the Kingdom Hearts games, which that's my favorite series of all time, uh, that I need to I have to have a completion of every game. Like,
very
I
nice.
I spent all the money on this computer just to, play Kingdom Hearts.
Nice. And Kingdom Hearts is a really great series.
Oh,
Like,
it is. It
I
is.
mean, it's definitely one of those. It's definitely one of those series where, yeah, it's gonna have its haters, but it's so deep with lore
It's
that
so confusing
like
too.
it can be. It absolutely can be, especially when you start getting in like the weird timeline stuff where
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
don't
hey, this is this past self of this guy, but this is him. It's like what?
Yep, he was here and yeah, it's some some pieces of that story should not have been written because they just don't make sense, but we're still here for it
What
now.
is a paradox?
Now, hopefully we don't have to wait 13 years for another sequel.
Right. All I know is that that Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer that popped out, what was it, a couple years ago, where it was like in modern times and whatnot. That looked so good.
Well, that's actually so the story is actually flipping now.
Oh,
So at least this is what most of the big like Kingdom Hearts like YouTubers and Reddit conspiracy theorists are saying, and it makes total sense. But basically they're saying the video game that was in the toy box world in Kingdom Hearts 3, Rex Verum, is the non-fictional world.
oh,
Whereas we have existed in the fictional world throughout the whole Dark Seeker saga.
okay.
But apparently now, the fictional world is leaking into the non-fictional world, and now he's got to save the non-fictional world.
Did,
Now,
did you
how
play?
everything plays out in it, obviously nobody knows yet, but I'm so excited. It looks
Did you get a
so cool.
chance to play 3?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you get
I
that hidden boss?
oh yeah.
Okay. I said that was a fun fight.
The only boss in any Kingdom Hearts game that I have honestly not beaten is Lingering Will in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
That boss is
Unfair.
cancer. Like, I used to think as a kid the Sephiroth secret boss on Kingdom Hearts 2 was bullshit.
Mhm.
No, like, what they did with Terra's suit of armor is just should not have happened. Like, I don't know who hurt the developer that thought this up, but say you're sorry already.
You hurt us, and you didn't need to hurt us.
I mean, it's one of those bosses though. It shows it's a major skill check,
Right.
and I do respect it. It's just I've never beaten him.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, well, this is where we tell who's actually playing the game to play the game or who's playing the game to beat the game.
Yep.
Like, who
Yeah.
wants to 100% this or who just wants to beat the story?
Oh, and I mean, it was like I've gone up against that boss with the best of the best setup for all three characters,
Yeah,
and I have still just been so unsuccessful.
that's crazy.
But hey, maybe someday we'll beat his ass.
You'll
There's
get there
always hope.
eventually.
Yeah. You know, I look at it though, and I'm still like, dude, I beat Elden Ring. I've beat Liza P. I forget what the other one was that I just recently played too, but I'm like, that's not even a Souls like. I don't
Well,
know.
according to Reddit, make sure you have lots of high potions and elixirs.
Yeah, I honestly would agree with that.
Because you know Donald is not going to heal you.
Donald's not going to heal you, and it's dumb because it was
It's
just a
dumb.
setting. It's a setting we all overlooked for years.
Yeah.
You can actually set the tempo of how much he uses healing magic.
Right, right. But no one ever changes that. And then they're just like, why isn't he healing? Because you
Yep.
didn't tell him to.
And here he is literally being like one of the strongest characters in existence in that verse.
Zeta Flare, man. Yeah, being able to survive it.
Right? Like,
Like that was dope. Like I remember playing KH3 for the first time and seeing him kick off that Zeta Flare. Like that hit me in the feels a little bit, seeing him go down. And I was like, no, 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 no.
I was kind of like, dude, how are they going to do Donald like that? Like,
Right?
what? What are you doing?
But I mean,
And
it was such a cool scene though.
mad respect. That honestly, that whole all the cinematics in that world, all the boss fights in that world, everything was executed so well.
Yeah.
Like major credit to the developers on that.
Like that game in general, I truly truly enjoyed it. And it had been a while since I enjoyed a game as much as I did Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes. My only real complaint with Kingdom Hearts 3 was like the attraction commands. They felt gimmicky after a few worlds.
Yeah.
Um I mean they were still cool though. It's good to see that they're trying to keep things fresh, not just rehashing the same old stuff.
Right, right.
Now, I might just be biased because Kingdom Hearts 2 will always be my favorite, but that's also my favorite combat style for the series. I
Right.
like I loved the quick triangle commands,
Okay.
but I also love in Kingdom Hearts 3 the transformations that you get. Like
Yes.
that
Like
was s- that was such a great idea.
I loved all the additional weapons and whatnot that you could get.
Yeah.
Like the oh what the hell were they? There were the basically there were twin pistols that would like shoot stars and whatnot.
Yep, that was the oh. It's my favorite series and I can't even think of which Keyblade it is.
No, it'd be neither. The I want to say it's the shooting star, but I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, it is the shooting star, as a
Okay.
matter of fact.
And then I also really like the Pirates of the Caribbean one where you basically got this really cool anchor spear.
Storm
Like,
Flag was dope.
yeah, yeah.
I
Like I just
actually one of my favorites was the Frozen Worlds, the Blizzard Claws.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like it it's more of a magic based, which is not something I typically do, but it was also a really just fast way to take out enemies. Like I like faster paced combat.
Right, right. Well, I mean, that's what I loved about the shooting star blasters because they would lock into everything. And so
Yes.
like you could just jump and fire around and, go ham and, eventually you were going to hit stuff and
Oh yeah, and then you just start seeing XP rack up, and it's like
yeah.
this is it.
It's like I'm
It
going to
was
hit all of
honest.
the things.
It that one was really cool because it was kind of paying like a homage to the wisdom form in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Right.
Because that's what Sora did was shoot with his keyblade.
Yeah. Nah, the Kingdom Hearts series as a whole, like they did a really, really good job with it. I remember that was one of those games that I did not own as a kid, but my friend down the road did. So we would trade. I would trade him Final Fantasy X, and he'd trade me the original Kingdom Hearts. We'd both play them. I'd beat Kingdom Hearts. Then he had KH2, and
You know, it's funny because oh, what was Final Fantasy X was the first one I actually played.
it was the first numbered one that I ever played.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, for my PS1, like I wasn't really big into a lot of the Final Fantasy games except for Tactics, but that was just because I spent the night at my cousin's house one night and he introduced me to Tactics and we turned a one-player game into a five-player game just because that's how that game played out. Um so that kind of threw me into my love for Final Fantasy Tactics and then I remember for Christmas one year like I didn't even ask for it. My parents just got it for me and it was Final Fantasy X and I loved it.
Yeah, um I can't remember. Yeah, Titus was in actually Kingdom Hearts 1, which is what made me want to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, Titus and Walker were there on the beach.
Yes, they were. You could fight them as many times as you wanted.
Have you seen some of those people online who spend all of their time like maxing out their character on the beach?
Yes, and they need help
Honestly,
because
I could
there's
not
no
do
way.
that.
Yeah, there's no way you couldn't pay me. I
Yeah,
would get
no,
so
I
burnt out of that game, I'd probably never play it again.
right? And I mean that's one thing like yeah, sure people want to challenge. That's cool. But you don't have to like off yourself trying to do these challenges for these games you like.
Oh yeah, there's no sense in that. Like
Yeah, like that's crazy.
I actually should look up and see because I'm sure one of them has posted like a, at least an average number on how long it takes them to do that.
Just from the beach.
Yeah, like I can imagine there are days worth of gameplay.
Oh, I couldn't like I couldn't.
Yeah, there's
Like
no way.
I just couldn't. Like that's insane. And I mean, you see them all the time on like TikTok lives and stuff where they're just like, "Yep, nope, just fighting Sora or just fighting Tidus or just fighting Riku," and it's like, dude,
Yeah, it's like, all right, go. You've made your point here. Go play something else now.
yeah, it's like, oh, I got to max level now. I can finally play the game.
Now I can finally play. It's only been 47 years.
Reminds me of that episode of South Park where they're just fighting boars in Make Love Not Warcraft.
I loved when that episode came out because I was such a big World of Warcraft nerd. I was
So
so
fun
addicted to
fun fact
that
about that
game.
one there. I don't remember which creator it was, but he hated that episode and he thought that episode was gonna fail so hard. And it turns out it's literally their most popular episode.
It is. Honestly, I'll give it to South Park as well. Um, the fractured butthole,
It was such a
that's
good
one of my
game.
that was one of my favorite combat systems ever.
They were such a good like the Fractured Butthole and the Stick of Truth. Like they were such good games.
They were criminally underrated. Now, I will say the latest one that came out, I don't understand why they went to the tower defense shit.
I have not played the new one.
I watched a friend of mine stream it to me and I was like, there's no this is a mobile game.
So back to the Sora thing. I just looked it up and apparently it took this guy 42 hours, 14 minutes, and 8 seconds to get to level 100.
Wow, actually.
Yeah. Level 100
That's
Destiny Island grind. That's insane.
I mean, realistically, if you like really try to do everything in the game, that's that's about a playthrough's worth of time.
Yeah. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. When I played Kingdom Hearts for the first time, I don't think I got anywhere near level 100.
No, me neither. Not as a kid. That
So the
game
fact
actually
that
took me entirely too long to complete as a kid.
so the fact that this guy spent 42 hours of his life just fighting Titus.
With a wooden sword.
Yeah. That's not I mean, props to that guy. Like, good on you, but dang.
Yeah, I mean, he's a much more patient guy than I am, but
Like, I'm hoping he streamed it just so that way he could like have people to talk to while doing it.
I would hope so too, because I don't know how you don't go clinically insane.
Or maybe he had like people over at his house while he was doing it or whatever. And here I am assuming it was a guy because I'm gonna assume it was a guy.
Same, same.
But I mean, more
I mean,
props to him. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
good on you.
Yeah, I just no thanks. I will pass.
Yeah, it's like that's a whole lot of no for me, but good on you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like, you do your thing. I'm just not interested in any of that.
Nope. I couldn't like I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's because I'm older now, but like my game to go to now is Monster Hunter. I've been trying to get the platinum trophy for that on my PS5, and I can only play a little bit at a time just because I can't sit there and do it. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if it can't hold my attention or if something else just happens to pop up or what have you. But I don't I props to people who can sit there for hours and hours and hours and play games. Good on you. I wish I could do that and make a career out of it like they do, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, I don't really want to turn my hobby into a job though either.
Yeah, because it'd make you hate the hobby.
Yes. Like I definitely don't play games nearly as much as I did years ago. And honestly, I mean, recently, well, probably I'd say within like the last year or so, I've really like just dove into Yu-Gi-Oh and like trading card games.
Mm,
Um
yeah,
it's more I feel like it's more challenging. There's a lot more to think about.
right.
And I mean,
Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, how'd the tournament go?
so Philly regionals in March this year did not go great.
Oh,
Yeah. Uh it it was kind of weird. So we get there, we get registered. They hand us our entry packs. You get 5 packs for entering. It's $25. I pulled a card that got me a really good rarity bump in one of my favorite pet decks. Um, so that started off great. Round one was great. Won that one 2-0. And then game two it set the precedent for the rest of the day.
Oof.
So I was playing a deck called Mermail, well, playing against a deck called Mermail. And this deck going first is not good for anybody because they rip cards out of your hand.
Oh.
He ripped my entire hand from me.
Oh.
And then I opened up a hand trap that was useless. He had game.
Oh.
Then I made a rookie mistake with my own deck, but I felt like it was worth the gamble. I opened up pretty much no starters for any of the engine of my deck. It was basically all like extenders after the fact and some hand traps, but there's card called Allure of Darkness. You
I've
draw
heard of
two,
Allure of Darkness.
you draw two, and then you have to banish a dark monster from your hand. And if you don't have a dark monster, you throw your whole hand in the graveyard.
Oh.
Can you guess what happened to me after I
You,
played that card?
you did not have a dark monster.
Correct. I shook that man's hand and said, "Good game." Uh,
So,
Actually, I can't really say the rest of the day. Like the duels were really good. Like it wasn't just like I was getting steamrolled or anything. It was just getting it down to the wire and not drawing into something I needed right then and there.
okay.
But we ended up dropping, me and my friends that I went with. We dropped after round 5. So I technically went 1-4, and then we traipsed around and got a good Philly cheesesteak from Philly and went home
Okay.
to where I actually started building another deck.
Nice.
Not because of the results of that, but I just didn't realize how good it was. I just wanted to build it because it is. Did you ever watch the original show?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the character Odeon?
I do remember Odeon. I saw that he's getting some support or some cards like
Oh yeah,
um
they released, and that's actually what I'm playing competitively now.
nice.
It actually the variant that I immediately thought that I wanted to run because I like the secondary engine called Fiendsmith.
Okay.
Um, it was an Odeon Fiendsmith variant that actually placed first at that regionals that day.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
The deck's really fun. It it has a couple new monsters, and with the Fiendsmith engine, it works really well. The synergy's really good. You're able to get into all your Fiendsmith stuff really easy. The new fusion monster for Apophis is crazy. Um, and I'm actually really happy. I get to really bling this deck out. Um, I have like 2 collector rares in there, one of them being the new spell card for the Odeon support. And
Okay.
then I have Hand Trap, that's a collector rare, which is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. And then I also have a quarter century secret rare, Lord of Heavenly Prison,
Okay.
which is really for me what I think makes this deck kind of broken because it's all back row based, so it's all traps.
Oh, okay.
Um, Now, mind you, this card is also searchable very easily, or very easy.
So
Um,
Jinzo would be very bad for that deck.
Um, if it weren't for Lord of Heavenly Prison, so basically, I do all my stuff. I search that card out, have it in my hand, pass turn to you. On your standby phase, I'm going to activate its effect to reveal it for the turn, and then all my back row is protected.
Oh, okay.
So it's some built-in protection for the deck, which is what really kind of does it. Because although the traps summon themselves as monsters, they're still traps, so that effect applies to them.
Very nice.
Yeah,
So
it's
speaking of the
go ahead.
show, I want to say it was back on like the very first episode, or maybe the second episode. Pegasus handed the note off to the little kid, told him to play the flying elephant card. I heard
Yeah,
that the flying elephant became an actual card,
yeah,
and that if it's able to inflict battle damage with a direct attack, the next turn you win the duel.
yes.
So now, a duel, like when you go to tournaments and stuff, it's a match, so it's best 2 out of 3, right?
No. So the duel in text on the card, it only means it would be the round, not the actual match.
Oh, okay.
There are cards that do specify that you will win the match. They're just banned.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's good because then people aren't
There,
just going to search for that one card to, get 3 duels out of the way.
oh yeah. I mean, honestly though, sometimes it would be super helpful.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I just think it's crazy because Flying Elephant, it's only a 4-star monster.
you know, my first regionals that I ever went to in January, the whole deck's based off level 1 monsters.
Oh, wow. Was it the
And
skeletons?
no, actually, one of my best friends, his son just built that deck. No, it's not Wraith Baking
Okay.
or King of the Skull Servants.
There you go. That's what we had. The King
Yeah.
of the Skull Serpents.
No, it's called Mimigools. It's a newer TCG exclusive archetype.
Okay.
They're all e- every one of them are level 1 flip monsters except for the level 4 that's kind of can be a boss monster cuz it's you can get him to like 4,000 attack and the one other rank 1 exceed in the deck, giant Mimighoul. As long as the opponent has a face down monster, I can attack you directly with non-exceed Mimighoul monsters.
Wow.
And it's a spam summon deck. Like it's so crazy. And the field spell, it's a stun because they all have an effect to summon to the opponent's field. And
Oh,
as
okay.
long
So
as
you get to take up their spaces.
oh yeah, but whenever the opponent flips them, they do all kinds of really nutty shit. Like the one Mimical Archfiend, it makes the opponent it'll make the opponent discard a card from their hand, and then I'll draw one. And then
Oh, wow.
at the end of all their effects, they summon back to my field. And there's another one that's special summons one from deck and then summons. But the really underrated one, at least I think for the current format, I'm just not playing the deck right now, is Mimigul Cerberus. It banishes the top 3 cards of the opponent's deck, and if any of those cards are monsters, like meaning like if there's one or more, they choose one of those monsters if there are any. That monster summons to my field, and then Cerberus also summons to my field.
Oh, wow.
And it gets you into some really big like link plays. It's so much fun for flip monsters.
Yeah, that's great. Like, I remember playing, what was it, Legacy of the Duelist, I think, on the
Oh yeah.
PS4.
Yeah.
And I
Did you have
remember
the
I
link?
did the. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Did you have the Link Evolution DLC?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Uh, then you honestly, I recommend getting it if you liked that, because I honestly still play that game from time to time
Oh, do you?
just to play some older format stuff.
Well, I mean, I just thought it was funny because, like, I was playing a buddy of mine, and we were having this discussion on how Maiden with Eyes of Blue actually works. Because he would always, like, this was back when when I still played. He would have her face down on the field. I would attack her, and he would claim that, oh, her ability goes off. I was like, how? And he's like, it's her ability if she's targeted. I was like, yeah, but she's not face up, so how is she popping her ability if she's not a flip effect? Well, it says right here that she's targeted. So I was like, all right. So we went ahead and we played it on the PlayStation. I did the same thing. He's like, how come the ability didn't work? I was like, because she wasn't face up.
That is
And
correct.
this whole time, like, I thought maybe I was in the wrong, but then the game showed me that I was in the right. So it's like, really?
Actually, the reason for that would be since Maiden would be face down, that is technically considered to the opponent. It's not public knowledge.
Right.
So just because he targets it doesn't mean, he doesn't know what it is. So yeah, you are completely correct on that. It has to be
I mean,
face up for the effect to pop.
I remember I spent so much money back in the day. Like, I think I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Just as pendulum summoning was becoming a thing.
Yeah. Ew.
And I hated it because, like, I would go to our local card shop one night. We
Everybody
were sitting there
does.
playing, and this guy had more money than brains, and so he had all these new pendulum cards and whatnot. And he was sitting there saying, "Oh, well, this lets me do this, and then this, and then this." I was like, "Dude, your turn is taking like 15 minutes. Like, can we get a move on?"
Yeah, it's not that bad. I know exactly what you mean. There was actually a guy up at regionals just playing Pendulum Magicians.
Ugh.
It was I was like, I feel so bad for that dude that's like two chairs down from me.
Because I
It's
mean, like,
act
I was still in the mindset where it's just like, I'm gonna set two and your move. It's like, well, no, I'm gonna do this script's worth of stuff to summon everything that I possibly can, and here's a mirror force.
I mean, see, I'm the kind of person I play both ways. Like the deck I just took up to regionals the other weekend. It's called Malice.
Okay.
It's a link climb deck. A lot of people are saying it's Adignisters 2.0. They're kind of right, but basically, the deck revolves around banishing the main deck monsters. Actually, any of the Malice monsters. If they get banished, they can resummon themselves after paying life points. The main deck monsters are 300. The link monsters are 900.
Oh wow.
But you end up getting like a free draw two if you go full combo, and then you land on a link 5 that sends Cyberse monsters to graveyard, gains their attack, and then the ones that you send, like there's a spell negate or spell and trap negate, there's a monster negate you send, and every time you send a monster, if it's a different attribute, the link 5 gains it, and during battle phase, it can attack up to the number as many times up to the number of attributes that it has.
Oh wow.
So you can literally make like an 8K beater that can swing on you like 3 times if you really wanted to.
Jeez.
It's so dumb.
No, I remember in college. So this was back, I think, just as like synchros and stuff were becoming popular. Um, I had a DD deck because that was my jam. I loved my different dimensions cards.
Oh yeah, different dimensions cool.
And I had Macrocosmos, of course, so everything gets removed from play instead of going to the graveyard. And then I had Soul Absorption because that just made sense.
You know,
And
one of my one of my favorite monsters, my favorite archetype is called Virtual World. The boss monster is a level 9 synchro that is a walking macros cosmos.
really,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But no, like everyone would ask me like, who's your biggest monster in your deck? I was like, this level, I think he's like level 2 or level 3. And they're like, he's not that strong. I was like, give it a minute. And so we got into the match and we were going and going and going. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna play Grandmaja de Isa. And they were like, what
Grand
does he do?
Logic.
I was like, do you remember how I kept
Oh.
throwing stuff away? So
Uh
he turned into a great big beat stick and
yeah, yeah, he did.
yeah.
It's
So
I
that little
actually am
he was my
trading
favorite.
for a card this week. That is different dimension.
Oh really?
It's actually not DD, it's DDD, but
Okay.
DDD High Wave King Caesar.
Ah.
The Fiendsmith engine can get him out really quick. He's a real big pain in the ass.
But I mean, I'm glad that my kids are getting into Yu-Gi-Oh now. Like, I mean, but we don't play anything overly overly big. Like I think the highest that we really go to is the Exceeds monsters. Um, just because learning all the new rule sets is just one of those things where I just don't want to, I guess.
I don't blame you because there are so many gray areas. Like there's a monster out there called MSETI. It's it has an effect to summon itself from being banished, but they classify it as an unclassified effect, so it dodges so many things that really when you look at things it shouldn't.
It's like loophole here.
Yeah, it's like okay, let me called by the grave this card, and then it's just like nope, I'm going to come back out on the field real quick. Like what do you mean? No. But
No,
yeah,
I think
it's
one of
I
I think one of my
understand.
favorite decks that I have that I duel my kids with is my tunes.
Ooh.
Like
Tunes have
tunes are
actually
just gross.
they have gotten a lot of support. I actually had a quarter century secret rare Tune Black Luster I traded.
Oh really?
It was such a cool looking card. I actually forgot that they even had a Tune Black Luster.
No. It bugs my kids when I play it because I'll throw on like the really cheesy Pegasus mock-up voice and it's fun for me.
See, I built my oldest son uh my favorite deck, Virtual World.
Okay.
And it's a synchro based deck around level 6 or level 3s and level 6s. But there's a trap that lets you level modulate um and they all have like an effect to act that they activate in hand and then they target a virtual world card to summon. I'm not sure if you know the card Red Eyes Dark Dragoon.
I've heard of it.
Uh this deck can summon it out really easy with a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon on field too.
Okay.
Plus the boss monster of the deck, which is the walking Macros Cosmos I was just saying about.
Right.
And then you generally have your virtual world trap that actually recycles two of your banished virtual world cards from banished to deck, and then you pop a card.
Oh wow.
And well, it's also a really good XC deck. Like I put some pretty spicy shit in there for him. He's got a what is it? I gotta remember which one it is because there's so many Utopias. It's Utopia Beyond, number 39. When that card hits the field, all the opponent's monsters' attack becomes 0.
Oh,
And then I have a way to make a card called Divine Thunder. Actually, it's a really long card name, and I'm gonna butcher it, but it's Zeus, Sky Thunder Zeus. It looks like a Gundam,
nice.
but it's basically the best Exceed monster ever, in my opinion. As long as an Exceed monster battles, um, you go to main phase 2, and then you just special summon him on top, and the monster that you special summon becomes material, and it keeps all the material that you already had.
Jeez,
And
two
it has
level
a
12s.
yes, it has a quick effect too that you can detach two materials and send everything but himself to the graveyard. The
Oh
great
wow.
thing the great thing about this is that it's non-targeting.
Oh really?
So it truly sends everything except him.
He does look really cool.
But I have a way because of the level 3s in the deck. A lot of times I just use number 49 Fortune Tune. I'll go into battle phase, swing on something, and then go to main phase 2. And there's another card called Down Red Magician. Um, if a level 3 or a rank 3 or lower Exceed monster battles, you can special summon that on top of the monster. Then everything becomes material. And then you summon the Zeus on top of that, so you have a 4 material Zeus that you can blow up the board twice with.
That's insane.
It really is. And I gave this to a 6-year-old to be a terror with.
That is glorious. But no, I thought it was uh you compared it to a Gundam. So not to veer off course there, but
Oh
I
no,
started to
go.
watch there's an anime that I started to watch again called Gundam Build Fighter, which
Okay.
is
Is this a
it
newer
so it,
series?
um not so much. It's been out for a couple of years.
Because I've
So
only ever watched 2 Gundam series.
okay, was one of them
Gund
Gundam Wing?
G Gundam, the one with the shining fist.
Oh yeah, Domonka. Oh yeah, dude. G Gundam is where I got started with Gundam.
And then there was one that was on Toonami for like a very short period of time, but they were like it was almost like a chibi thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, the SD Gundams.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Gundam
yeah,
SD.
yeah.
Yes.
I remember
I
that.
watched
I
that
remember
too.
that. Yep, the Chaos Army, all the little
Yes.
Zaku's. Yep.
I forgot about yep. Honestly, I might try to find that and rewatch that because I enjoyed it.
So with Gundam Build Fighters, are you familiar with Gunpla?
Not very much, no. I
So they're the little
don't know much
models.
about them. Okay.
So they're basically models. They come in sheets of plastic. You snip the plastic out, you put them together, and now you have a model. So with
Okay.
Gundam Build Fighters, they build their models, and then they have this little like arena kind of thing where they put their Gunpla in there, and then there's something called a Plotsky particle that's created for the show that makes that Gundam come to life, and then they
Okay.
can pilot the Gundam from basically a virtual cockpit that they're sitting on either side of the arena, and then they fight in this arena. So the more stuff that you put into your Gundam or your Gunpla, the better it'll do in battle. So like you can mix and match and build your Gunpla however you want, send it into this thing, and then fight against other people, and it's like a tournament based setting. Now speaking of G Gundam, a little bit of spoilers for one of the other series that's based on the same model thing. Domon Kashu is actually in that series as the sensei of one of the characters.
Oh,
And
okay. That's
I didn't
cool.
know that until I saw like because you see him in a couple of episodes and my brain didn't quite trigger until I
Right.
saw it a couple more times. I was like, "No."
Hmm.
But no, so it was just a fun thing that me and my kids started watching, and I gotta say, I enjoyed a lot.
Me and my boys actually, it's really a weekend thing for us that we just recently started doing, but I decided to commit watching One Piece with them.
Oh boy, oh boy, you're gonna be there for a while.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Where are you
But
guys at now in it?
we just got past oh, I already forgot his name. It's Dawn something. They were fighting on Sanji's ship, the cook ship.
Oh, Don Creek. Wow, yeah. So
Yes,
you guys
Dawn
really
Creek.
just started.
Oh yeah, like I think that was like episode 28 maybe.
Dang.
Yeah,
So
we're not far into it, but I
so I
figured
remember
if
the
I
yeah.
tried to make it like a fun way to get through the commitment
Yeah.
because they
Well,
get
you're definitely
excited
gonna be
about
watching
it.
it for a
So,
while.
oh yeah, they're probably going to be like 16 whenever we finish it.
If it's even finished by then.
Right?
But no, I remember Don Creek. He was an interesting villain. I wish that he would come back just because I don't know. I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a cool concept for a villain,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
sure they could really beef that dude up considering the power creep in the series.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Like if they were to bring him back and give him a devil fruit or something like that, or even if they don't give him a devil fruit, let him coat his stuff in hockey. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that'd be
That would
crazy.
that would be really cool.
It'd be just really cool to see someone back from, season 1.
Yeah, I like whenever characters return, but whenever it's not overdone, like
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say this. I'm not sorry to say this. Dragon Ball. Just let Frieza go at this point, please.
Yeah. But no, they brought him back to life and now he's got Frieza black form and
Yeah, and now Broly and Gohan are literally the two strongest beings in the series.
oh yeah, Broly being Broly and then Gohan being like, I have a beast form that makes my hair look really funky.
Well, honestly, I saw a cool little theory about that, as a matter of
Oh,
fact. So, based on Dragon Ball Daima, um, that is canon,
right,
um, we learn that the Kais come from the demon realm.
right,
The Kais were the ones that also gave Gohan the ability to unlock his potential.
right,
And if you think about it, I mean, that beast form isn't like a form of like Super Saiyan or anything like that. That's just like an evolutionary process of his unlocked potential.
right.
But if you look, his eyes turn red and like the demons do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people that speculate that it is like some kind of a demonic form.
I can see that.
Yeah, and it's honestly it's kind of ironic for Gohan, which I like too because he's always been more about like justice and peace.
Oh, because like I remember originally he was supposed to take over, like he was supposed to become like the main character and whatnot,
He should
but
have.
for whatever reason they didn't. They were like, nope, he's the Great Saiyaman, and
I wish
he's
we could.
going to school, and it's
I
like
wish
okay.
they could have just not done the Great Saiyaman thing too. That was so corny. I mean,
uh,
it's a staple of the show at this point, but It was
Yeah.
still corny.
Yeah,
I
it
stand
was
on that
something.
hill.
Yeah, it was, they had fun with it, I think. Like, I think that was one of those things that someone in the office was like, "Could you imagine if he was a Power Ranger?"
Right? Dude, that's kinda like that's the kinda thinking I feel like they made making the most one of the most cringe characters in all of anime. Like, he's up there on the list. But whoever decided Kuwabara was gonna be Kuwabara in the English dub,
Uber was great.
like, I agree, but he is just he's like the tough guy kinda cringe, not like super weird cringy, but it's just like, dude, come on, man.
Those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure we just shifted into Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes, yes, we did.
Yeah, but no, dude, I loved Kuwabara. Like
I do
he was
too.
just such a cool character. Look out, guys! I've got a sword.
Urameshi.
Yeah, sword get long. It's like, is that a dick joke?
That's my all-time favorite anime.
Yu Yu
It's actually
Hakusho, dude, it was great.
it was the first one I actually watched the whole way through.
Nice, nice. It was So I was actually we just moved into our new house down here in Virginia Beach, and so I had to check out some of the local nerd stores. And so I walked into one, and the guy saw that I had
Cool.
a Yu Yu Hakusho shirt on, and we were sitting there talking, and I got to thinking, I was like, one of my wife's favorite anime of all time is Sailor Moon, and one of my favorite anime of all time is Yu Yu Hakusho, and the creator of both of those shows are married.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yep. So I just thought that was
Wow,
really cool. So we were
that
sitting there
is
talking
cool.
about it, and that guy's actually the one who told me about it. So I was like, dope.
Yeah, dude, that's actually a cool little fact I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Yu Yu Hakusho was definitely cool. Yusuke Urameshi just as a character, he was I don't know, there was just something about him. He was like he's the original Ichigo.
Yes, yes, because like dude had an attitude problem the whole
hmm
show, but he was still the guy that you just rooted for.
He had a serious attitude towards authority. But I I mean, he definitely had the heart of gold because like first episode he jumped and to save the kid, and
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
so like he was definitely one of those delinquent types. But then when it came to people weaker than him, he was always the first one to jump into the fray.
He was he's kind of like he's like the underdog story.
Yeah,
Like everybody around him was expecting him to fail, and dude just kind of said, that's not me."
yeah. Like I remember it was in one of the first episodes, like after he came back or he came back into his body. The one teacher was stealing all the stuff and they tried to blame it on Yusuke. And so Koenma gave him that monocle thing that lets him see through clothes and whatnot. And he
Yeah,
saw that he had all the stuff, and that's when we first got introduced to the spirit gun. And he
yeah.
shot the teacher in the back with it. I was like, that was dope.
The very first spirit gun. Dude, I was the same way. I'm sitting there as a kid, just in front of the TV, like, what just happened?
And
Is he gonna
honestly,
do that again?
as soon as I saw that, the first thing that came to mind, it was like, hey, look at that. It's just like the Kamehameha. But it came out of his finger, so it's cooler.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
I just wish.
it was cool. It was definitely a good show. I enjoyed it. The Dark World tournament will forever go down as one of my favorite tournament arcs of any anime ever.
Dude, that's one of the best arcs in anime, period.
Yeah, especially that
Yeah.
final fight with Yusuke and Toguro.
Yeah,
There
that's
was just so
iconic.
much emotion in that fight.
Well, dude, the dialogue was like some of the most well-written dialogue
Oh my god,
still
yeah.
to this day. I
And
mean, and I
Kuwabara
can
got his moment to shine.
uh whenever he goes down though,
Yeah. Nah,
it
it
gets you.
was it
It
was
gets
definitely
you.
a good one.
Now, I will say though, only thing that I feel I wish that the last arc would have been a little longer and it wouldn't have went to like the Dark Tournament 2.0. Like I feel like they could have written the end of that arc a little different.
Yeah. And I mean, it does kind of stink that Yusuke kind of had to like stay in Demon World for I mean, I get why he had to do it cuz like if he went up to the main world, he would break the thing.
Yeah.
Um but the fact that he was able to get all his power under control and whatnot, and then just to see that last scene of him all on the beach, like that was the perfect way I think they could have ended that anime
Yeah.
was everyone
Yeah.
being united, the sappy music and whatnot, but
And it was
heroes
just
prevailed and
yeah. And it was written it was written at first to make you think like he wasn't going to show back up.
right, right.
So like
Like, oh
the
no, he couldn't do it.
anticipation was there as well,
Yeah.
like that build up.
It was definitely to me it was one of the best ways that they could have possibly ended that anime.
It'll forever go down as just one of the most iconic animes ever.
Oh yeah. It's definitely one of those anime that I like to tell people that if they have a bucket list of anime, Yu Yu Hakusho needs to be on that bucket list.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's no reason you shouldn't take the time to watch it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not like a super long series either.
No. And it's not inappropriate. Well, not all the way inappropriate. I mean, there are some scenes that are questionable.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a lot of anime.
Oh my goodness, especially for the time period.
Dude,
Like
it's
people
even there I although I've watched Disney movies and I've heard jokes where I'm like, "All right, I know what you're poking at."
that are like, I don't know if you remember the movie Road to El Dorado, like there was that whole scene where it was speculated that there was some mouth stuff going on and
I don't actually, but I'm not surprised.
nah, Disney's gotten pretty Disney was really bad with putting the adult humor, and I get it. I get why they did it because they knew that parents were going to take their kids to see whatever, so they wanted to throw something in there for the parents. So I get that, but especially now as that parent, now that I see it, I'm like, how did my parents let me see this?
See, I was just very unsupervised with the TV as a child, so that's my answer.
Yeah, I had a lot of VHS tapes. A lot of VHS tapes.
You know, I used to have I used to be the VHS kid too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Although I used to
because
like to
DVD
rent
wasn't
stuff.
out yet.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh.
remember we had a mom and pop store down the road from us that was the video rental place. And they didn't have a lot, but if you requested something, they would get it.
Well, guys, and with that, we're gonna call this the first episode of Set to and Pass. Um, Stick with us. Dylan and I are gonna be cranking out some good stuff for you. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, sharing us, telling your mom, your sister, your coworkers, everybody and anybody really. Um, but you know, leave comments. What do you want to hear from us? Because
Absolutely.
I'm sure that we can dabble in just about any realm at this point.
Absolutely. Like if you have If you want to hear more about anime, let us know what you want to hear about. If you want to know about games, let us know. If you just want to hear some dad facts, or like if you are going to become a dad and you want to know something that you might not want to ask some random person, we're two random people on the internet who will tell you what to do.
We've been there and done it.
Absolutely. 5
We're both
times.
3 times, but there's plenty of experience between 8 of them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so stick with us, we'll stick with you. And with that, I am actually going to set to end pass for the night. We'll see you guys on the next one.